Hey everyone, it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. Today we're going to do something a little bit fun. I've been waiting for so long to be able to actually make a black bath bomb. So anyway, today we're going to be doing that. So in my container in front of me that you can see, I've already put all of my powders and everything in there, which is my dry ingredients. And then secondly, what you can see me adding in here is going to be my liquid ingredients. So obviously that's exactly as it sounds. The liquids will be all the wet, liquidy type ingredients that you're going to put in it, such as your oils and so on. And of course the dry ingredients would be, your citric acid, your bicarb, and all the other powders that you might have in there, such as, kaolin clay and so on. So if you want this recipe, I will pop it down in the description below. But of course, watch the video and then that will actually give you the whole idea of how I'm actually using everything and what I actually do to create the perfect bath bomb. I honestly don't have many fails with this recipe, and I really believe it's because it is a mostly oil recipe. When I sell my products as well, this is something that a lot of people do ask me. They always ask how much alcohol is in this bath bomb, and I always say none, because I don't put alcohol in my bath bombs. The only time that there would ever be alcohol is if I actually create the painting on the top of some of the bath bombs, and then of course you do need to mix, you would be definitely mixing an alcohol based with your mica. But for this one here, we're not going to do that because we're going to make these really cute starlight bath bombs in a really nice round one as well. So all I'm doing at the moment here is I put all my oils together, all my powders together, and then of course I have just poured in my liquid ingredients, and what that is just some boiling hot water with some bath bomb dye. So this dye is suitable for bath bombs. It's been created for bath bombs as well, and I actually get this one from Sud off Australia. The colour I popped in is black. If you wanted it super duper black, you would definitely need to put in more dye. I didn't want to put in more dye in this. I just wanted to keep it, not too crazy as well. And when you're using any dyes or micas, I always suggest that you put some polysorbate 80 in it, and that just disperses all your oils and everything together. So when you're mixing it in a mixer like I'm doing today, it's really easy. You just pop it into a stand-up mixer and mix it. So basically all you're going to do is mix it in short bursts of about 40 seconds. And then you're going to be lifting up the top of your mixer, mixing it all around the sides, because it will get stuck on the bottom and around the sides, which you'll see that a little bit later when I actually pop it all out of here. Because once I've mixed it in here, I do also go and mix it just in a tray by hand. This bit just takes out a lot of the mixing time. So if you don't want to spend, ages mixing by hand, this one will cut your time in half, and it's definitely easier. You'll also notice the attachment that I put on is not the whip, it's actually the paddle that I'm putting on, and that's what you actually mix your bath bombs with. You don't mix it with the whip because that just won't do the job properly. This is what you need, and it's basically like when you make ice cream and you're slowly using that particular attachment and it just swirls around. So now I'm definitely taking it out of there and putting it into these large bowls. These bowls are really amazing. They're really, really wide. They're probably 1/2 meter wide actually. Maybe a little less, but they're quite wide, and it's almost like a massive big dog bowl. And I usually keep a few of these, and you can buy them anywhere, even at your little cheapy shop or your discounted shop. And then I'm just going to make sure I mix all of this in. A lot of people do say to me that my bath bomb mixture doesn't look super wet, and you're right, it doesn't. You don't need to have your bath bomb mixture wet. If you do, it can cause really big craters and cracking in your bath bombs, so definitely don't do that. So if you feel like it's a little bit too dry, you can always spray some witch hazel. I definitely suggest that, not water and not alcohol, because alcohol does start to evaporate once you poured it out anyway. That's a part of what alcohol does. But you've got to remember, somebody is going to be literally sitting their whole body inside a bath full of this. So you don't want alcohol and them literally boiling themselves in alcohol. That's something that I think about a lot, and I just wouldn't want my children sitting all in alcohol. So that's why I've chosen not to use an alcohol based bath bomb. But as you can see here, I'm just mixing it in my hand. So all you're going to do is just rub it between the palms of your hands, making sure you wear gloves because this does have citric acid in it. Aside from, obviously, you need this for sanitary purposes, but also the citric acid can really burn your hands when you're rubbing it back and forward. So this is a reason, even for your own personal hygiene as well, just to, you know, keep the gloves on for yourself as well, and make sure that everything is sprayed down and sanitized before we even start this whole process. It's just really, really important to make sure you do that and you don't ruin everything. And of course you can choose your own fragrance, what you're going to use in this. I've actually used a fragrance that has some beautiful notes of vanilla, some tropical fruit, some vanilla pod, and some sweet pea in it as well. And this one I get asked for quite a lot. I've had it in a few bath bombs and I always seem to sell out quite fast of this particular scent. And this one's from Aussie Candle Supplies. And like I said, I really do love this one. So you can tell that my black has not made it go black. It's definitely made it go like a deep charcoal. And the difference is when you put citric acid in, you will notice the colour changing. So it might look a different colour, and then you pop in the citric acid and it can actually turn blacks blue, can even turn purples blue, can turn blues purple. So it's just one of those things. It can even turn orange, yellow, and so on. So it's just a reaction with everything. And if you're wondering what my little plastic containers are to the side, what that actually is it's these really good containers that I get from my local Woolies. And you know, when something comes in big packets and they sell like these little tennis balls, they come in that and then they just throw this plastic out. So I actually asked, can I have it? And she said, yeah, go ahead, take it. So, you know, it was just rubbish they were going to recycle, but it's perfect for bath bombs and it sits all of my bath bombs in them. So if you go to your local Woolies, just ask, you know, can I actually have that tray? If there's something left over and you think you can use it, because you definitely can. So as you can see here, I'm popping it all into my mould. So the mould I'm using here is from the Bath Bomb Express. And I've actually purchased mine through Bath Bomb World. So the same as the little hand press that you can see me using, this is actually an original Express one, which is made in the US, and Bath Bomb World actually can purchase it from them. It does take a few months to get here, so make sure you give yourself time. And the one I'm using is a standard round mould. And then all you do is you have your bottom piece, the middle piece, and then the top. And they all just slot into each other. And if you leave a little bit of a gap, like a mount at the top, which you would have seen me do, what it actually does is give you that beautiful satin ring that you actually want. If you just keep it flat, you won't get the satin ring. So you do need to pile it up a little bit higher so that you can get that beautiful satin ring. And at the bottom of this, what I actually do for these ones is I put a tiny bit of gold biodegradable glitter and some tiny little gold stars, because this is going to be sort of like a galaxy type inspired, I guess, sort of moonlight type bath bomb. So that's why I've done that. But you can choose any kind of candies or anything to put in the bottom of this. I definitely would not be putting soap in. If you're thinking, well, I'll put some soap in, I wouldn't be doing that because that can actually react and expand the bath bomb. So, but candies don't, because it's a hard sort of sugar candy. But anything with chocolate or anything, definitely you can't put that in, obviously. So make sure your candy is total solid sugar candy if you're going to use that. And of course you can use biodegradable glitter. You can also be putting some little flowers, some rose petals, some lavender. If you're going to do that, just don't put a lot, because you don't want to clog up somebody's bath. And then all we're going to do is press them all with this. And my recipe here does make quite a lot. It would probably make about 24 medium-sized bath bombs, but you'll see at the end, I decided that I didn't need that many. I made 12 of the rounds, and then I used the rest to make a starlight unicorn. I thought this would be really cute with the unicorn, and it'll be like a nighttime unicorn. So I'll get back to that one. I'll show you at the end, and we'll talk about that when I come to that bit. So while I'm going ahead and continuing this off, I thought I would actually tell you the recipe that I'm going to use. So this is my standard recipe. If you want to halve it, you definitely can halve the recipe, so don't feel that you can't. So the powders that you can see that I put in is, there is 1,000 grams of citric acid, 2,000 grams of your bicarb soda. So definitely put those in. They're the main ingredients with anything like this. I also put 2 tablespoons of Kaolin clay, 2 tablespoons of goat milk, or you can just use your powdered milks as well. And then I already said the Kaolin clay, didn't I? So I always put Kaolin clay, and that is just a thing that you can do, or you can actually change that for a French clay if you want. But they're the main ingredients. And then, of course, I do have my liquid ingredients in them as well. So I also do have 2 teaspoons of water. And then I also have 2 tablespoons of jojoba oil, 2 tablespoons of polysorbate 80, and that will actually disperse all your oils for you. 1 to 2 tablespoons of mica if you want to use mica, but like I said, I've used the dye instead. And then 2 tablespoons of your fragrance oil. You can use essential oils, but just look into that and only use 1% or less if you're using those. Then also 2 tablespoons of sweet almond oil, 2 tablespoons of apricot kernal oil, and I also did add in 2 tablespoons of SLSA just to give a bubble, but you can leave that out if you don't want to put that out. And last but not least, at the very end, you need to add in 2 heaped tablespoons of cream of tartar, and that will actually harden up your bar. But I will leave the recipe totally at the bottom. So now what I'm deciding to do is I'm actually going to be making this really sweet little unicorn. So I'm making this unicorn mold. It's just a plastic mold that I've had for a while, and every single time I make unicorns, they just totally and utterly sell out. And my unicorn molds, just to let you know, I sell all mine for $8 because it is a bit of a bigger mold, and these ones will be hand painted. So if you're going to hand paint anything, you basically need to let this dry for a while. So let it dry for 24 hours. Put your dehumidifier on. That would definitely help them to harden, dry out fast, and not expand, and you won't get the issues. But just even get a cheap dehumidifier from Amazon. That's what I did. And you definitely need that when you're making bath bombs. And you can see here that I actually press it down with a spoon, smooth off the tops, the palm of my hand or a spoon, because I like to compact mine really hard when I'm using these plastic molds. You can also add glitters or anything like that at the bottom, but I did not, because my whole plan was to paint this, which I did do, and I didn't do the filming of the painting, I'm sorry, but it is quite boring watching me paint for an hour. So anyway, the whole idea of painting is literally all you're going to be doing is you're going to just add in literally 1 tablespoon of mica to 1 tablespoon of rubbing alcohol. I use a 99+% alcohol, but you don't have to do that. And the only reason I like that is because I know it evaporates quite fast, and I'm pretty fast with the colours at making them now. And then I've used quite a few different colours that you'll see, and I choose to use the micas, which are a cosmetic grade, and I get all of my micas from Sud Off in Australia. So I'll leave Sud Off's just, you know, all their details below, and a few fragrance companies that I really, really like. And, you know, I always just give companies that I like and I think are pretty good and that I've had a good dealing with. If ever I don't have a good dealing with a fragrance company or a supplier, I actually will not list them on my list. So that's why you'll notice I don't list absolutely everyone on there. But most suppliers are really good and they're there to help you, so don't feel scared not to help. And with this one too, with my dehumidifier on, and we are in winter at the moment, although there was no rain, this one did dry in probably about 3 to 4 hours. But you should really not paint it straight away. Do leave it until the next day, but mine was fairly dry. And my bath bombs are quite hard as well, and they do float. But, you know, floating is one of those things that a lot of people get right or wrong. And the one thing I was going to say too, if ever you have a tiny crack in your bath bomb, but it's fine, it won't separate, you can still sell that. Don't feel scared to sell it. I mean, bath bombs are tricky things. I sell mine and I've never ever had an issue with selling them. If it looked really ugly, then of course you might put it in your clearance section or something like that, but they do exactly the same thing. And if I get a really bad one, I often just give it away when I'm at a market or something to, you know, if ever I see little girls come up and say hi, I just give them one, or a little boy, and I just say, look, take one and have a try. And they're always so excited that they got a little free present. So, you know, always do things like that. It's nice, isn't it? And as I said, you know, here they are all at the end. So of course these little darlings aren't painted yet, but I am going to be painting them at the end and they will look just beautiful. And here is, of course, like I said, the starlight sort of ones that I've done in this darker colour. Do remember they will lighten up a little bit when they, you know, once they set and they're dried. But even after they're dry now, and they really didn't lighten up too much. I know the ponies look light here, but they're not. They still are quite almost like a bluish grey, I guess you would say. But they really do come out so beautiful when you actually paint them all and see the whole thing come together. So here's a quick shot in a minute just to show you the finished product. I painted them all up, put some biodegradable glitter on, and I'm sure you can agree that these ones are just going to run out the door to every little boy and girl. Thanks for listening, everyone, and if you think my video is worthy, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.